G2 are coming across. So, yeah, pressure really on now.
87 seconds, is it that much? Let's wait and see. They've furled most of the sheets upon the vanes of the windmill because it's starting to blow. Are these guys blowing apart? 23 seconds certainly looks that way, and the move by Sunweb looks to have shortened that gap significantly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come to any success, but you have to try. It has put a lot of pressure on the peloton. A couple of gaps are appearing, but nothing too much. But Oliver Nassen looking at it, and Jan Bakelans comes through to do his turn. But it was a nice cheeky move from Sunweb. And I always like to see teams trying these things. Okay, it doesn't come off, but sometimes it does. But I think in this run in towards the finish, the only damage that's been done is at the back.
That on the lens is a thunderfly, which announces rainfall. Get one of those in your computer screen, you're going to know about it. They particularly favour white. No white flag being waved at the moment by Bora. They picked it up, so Sunweb, they want a piece of the action today. CCC also thinking about it. This will be for Greg van Avermaet, staying safe today. And safety first for some of them as we pass by this famous windmill that Brian will name for us in a few moments' time. 20 seconds is the gap. He teased me last time. He's getting it back. 13 Ks only. They've got to take care. Now, they can't back out of this. Now that you've taken the move forward, then there are too many of your foes around you. If it failed, then hard lines. Neuhaus today would like to script something special. Let's wait and see if indeed it's going to be him. So, so teammates attacking their teammates in the break at the moment. Big, long highway, and indeed the clouds stacking up into grey order as it's colour order for most of the teams, and those that are making their way back in. Miles Scottson just trying to get a handle on it. 16 seconds it says, as we've got a storm kicking up here for a sprint essentially. Let's wait and see how it pans out. Who was your pick today?
I've not picked anybody.
Well, pick one, Brian.
Sam Bennett.
I'm going to go for Groenewegen today because I think he may well have just picked his shoulders back up off the deck and is going to give it another go. Let's wait and see if that's the case. I agree with you, Sam Bennett, though. I think he looked so fresh yesterday. He looked nice and feisty, nice and well balanced. I think his focus is partially down to the fact that it seems to be that his time at Bora is running out. Apparently there is an announcement to come as to where his destination will be. But a man who almost begs to be fully supported, I think you might say. But they've got an abundance of riches in their sprint roster. That's the problem with Sagan and Ackermann, and there's just no room for Sam Bennett. Well, let's see if he makes some room today in whatever way he manages to do so. How serious is Basso out of the frame for Ineos?
It's a bit of a concern for because they've lost Chris Lawless, so another man down. I don't think he'll get back into to make do a lot of help for Halverson, so we'll wait and see. But yesterday was the first ever win for an Irish champion in a World Tour race with Sam Bennett. He's got the leader's jersey on, but
Brian, 8-10 into this. They're keeping it sensible, but how sensible? A little bit of dive bombing up the inside. Looks like one of the Rome Pop boys went for it. A couple stalled off it, but they won't have to do that again, thank goodness. Doesn't do my heart rate any good at all. 12 seconds is the gap, however, and it looks like our breakaway finally have at last been foiled. Another dodgy corner dealt with.
Yeah, it was Sunweb took it on at ate into the advantage of the 6 riders in front, and all 6 riders have really committed themselves to look at the effort that Robert Stannard is doing for Mitchelton Scott at the front here. So all really committed. Unfortunately, it's not going to be their day, but it could have been different on another day. But Sunweb were the team that came to the front to make sure that you know, they were in the best possible place, just in case that split happened towards the end. It hasn't. And it does look as if we're looking at a bunch finish.
It does indeed. So your money has to be behind Sam Bennett or Groenewegen if he can pick it up again today. I think he can. Let's wait and see. Basso, I'm afraid, Leonardo, off trying to reconstruct his vim and vigour today. He's missing from the sprint. So is Chris Lawless. That unfortunately is going to knock Halverson for 6 today. He does have Pieper Garner though. Meanwhile, all the polytunnels here still doing their thing, growing slowly. the tomatoes that you love from this part of the world. Meanwhile, these guys, fruitful today, we shall wait and see. EF Education First have been very quiet today, and suddenly they're going loud. We'll wait and see. Oh, hello. Cheeky moves already starting. It's the De Koning Quickstep who are putting the first lump of salt in the soup here.
Yeah, it did look as if the peloton had just eased up ever so slightly, and De Koning Quickstep going on the attack. Looks like Zenedict Stibart that's decided to do that. He has done this in the past,
yep.
but I don't think it's the best possible move. But it's a surprise to me that, you know, he could have been of great help to Alvaro Hodge today, but De Koning Quickstep just deciding that to give Stibart an opportunity here, and right on the front, the sprinters teams of Bora Hansgrohe, and they know that they cannot give this man any leeway whatsoever.
No, he's done it before, and indeed with success, and from this sort of margin as well, because if there's a moment of doubt, the chase is being thought about by Bora Hansgrohe at the moment, but if you look then sitting in on the wheel are De Koning Quickstep, who are going to get a free ride on the back of anybody who decides to challenge Zenedict Stibart at the moment, who is asking the question, I think it's fair to say. Meanwhile, the gap is 16 seconds back to the pack. It's almost like they eased up while everyone gets into colour order, and that's the danger you're talking about. Wanty have picked it up as well, having a dig. They've got Sprengers up the road, but determined to stay. Indeed, at least mindful of what the possibilities are a little bit later on. Let's wait and see. They've got Timothy Dupont, who's actually not a bad sprinter in his own right, possibly outclassed by certain others in this company, but let's see. 16 seconds, Brian, with 8 to go.
Yeah, Jempe Drucker was riding at the front of the peloton for Bora Hansgrohe, just making sure that Stibart didn't get too far down the road, and just takes a glance over Stibart just back into the fold. But this group still hanging on to 17 seconds, but only one rider from Bora Hansgrohe, Jempe Drucker, doing a lot of work. And you can only imagine that with another maybe 10-15 seconds, the messing around with the golden kilometre, they may have you know, gone into possibly the last kilometre. But everybody just sitting back in the peloton at the moment, just expecting Bora Hansgrohe to do all the work.